Namaste. Welcome back or welcome to the Tower Yoga podcast. I cannot believe it, but April is nearly here, or maybe it is already April if you're just getting around to listening to this. And with it, we reflect on renewal and awakening. It's a very springtime, quintessential springtime vibe. And so, when thinking about our theme for the month and different yogic principles that are associated or could be associated with this idea of renewal and awakening, of course, the number one thing that came to my mind was prana. Do you know what prana is? I'm guessing if you've been to a yoga class, you've probably heard it that thrown around a time or two, or maybe you've heard it connected with pranayama, the breathing techniques or styles of breathing that we do in yoga. And while prana is really connected to the breath, it doesn't literally mean breath. Prana is the energy, the universal life force energy that permeates and animates all living beings. It sustains life. And breath is the vehicle in which prana rides in order to be delivered to wherever it needs to go. So while it's connected, it's not exactly the same thing. Prana carries everything we take in. So that's air, that's food, that's even impressions from different things that we're like listening to and watching and seeing and experiencing. Everything has prana or lacks it. When we are talking about prana, it is often thought as the like original cosmic force that started everything. And there's five different pranas or different vayus really is a good way to say it, which means winds or movements. So Vayu is also a Sanskrit word. Sanskrit's the language of yoga. Winds are movement. So each Vayu has a direction and a meaning. The direction delivers and moves this prana, this energy, in all the different ways it needs to go to support. So let's get into it. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. It starts with Pranvayu. Oftentimes it's translated as Pranavayu, but I think it can be kind of confusing sometimes to be talking about prana and the five vayus connected to prana. And then one of the five vayus is prana. So I'll just say Pranvayu. So it's like the little subcategory that is in the bigger category or theme of prana. So Pranvayu is the inward moving life force. It's like inhaling oxygen. You can take a deep breath in and when you're taking that breath in, you're inviting energy in. And so if you were thinking about this from the perspective of an asana, a posture, and let's link a posture. I'll link a posture to each one of these five so that it helps make this a little bit more maybe tangible in your mind. So you can think of the category of back bends or heart openers. We'll take camel pose or ustrasana, for instance. That posture, we're opening, right? But we're opening in order to invite energy in. We're receiving. So anything that any posture that is symbolically, right? And like moving in that way of like inviting and opening to energy is connected or could be connected to Pranvayu, this inward moving life force. Apana Vayu is downward moving. So in terms of digestion, right, you can think of elimination, like waste product that's no longer needed. You can think about menstruation, this idea of release. And any posture, I would say, that is really, really grounding, potentially even like close to the earth, is connected to Apana Vayu. Malasana, the yogi squat, is the first thing that comes to my mind. So yeah, you can think about anything that is grounding, probably close to the earth, and releasing to be connected to that. Next up is Samana Vayu, and it's the neutralizing or equalizing, balancing life force, like how we digest and assimilate. And in assimilation, it's almost like it's that step right before integration, maybe. Twists like Ardha Matsyendrasana stoke that balance. And this doesn't necessarily always have to be the case, but in the way that I like to teach, and a lot of our teachers at Tower Yoga, is that a twist is a really good neutralizing posture in between, for instance, say one of those heart openers like Ustrasana that we were talking about. If you were doing a practice that was culminating into that posture of camel pose, so you're doing a lot of heart opening, you're doing a lot of inviting energy in yoga, we bring balance by opposites. So there's a concept in Vedic philosophy connected to yoga and Ayurveda that it's just like the sister art and science, if you will, of yoga, that there's a principle of like increases like. And so when you're trying to bring balance, you think about bringing in a little bit of that opposite to feel that equanimity. And so if you were to want to do something to bring in that feeling of balance after doing a lot of heart opening, you might think the first thing is of course going to be something where you're folding forward or in, or you're drawing in. But if you think about like specifically your spine, like a spoon, and you're going forward, back, forward, back, that can cause like a little weakness there. And so, yeah, definitely bring in some of the exact opposite. So do bring in some forward folding, do bring in some of that kind of stuff. But what you might do before is rotate the spine and do some twists. And that helps kind of neutralize before you start calling in some of that opposite. And you can just try that in your own like home practice or something like that and see how you feel and how your spine feels and how your energy feels. But I digress. Nonetheless, twists like Ardha Matsyendrasana, or even just like a supine twist, like laying on the ground and doing any kind of, even a simple twist, sitting in a cross-legged position or a sukhasana sort of style, to really stoke that sense of balance. So Samana is the balancing life force. It's how we assimilate. It's how we start to really process, and the practice of twisting can help that and be connected to that. Next up is Udana Vayu, and this is upward moving, like speech, anything connected with expression or growth, even. So, even in growth maybe seems like sometimes it's two steps forward, one step back. But if you think about it as a spiral, that spiral is going up. So even if it seems like you're going back and down sometimes, if you can understand that that is part of the process of growing, that you're still actually hopefully going in this upward trajectory. Sometimes it just feels like you have to kind of backpedal a little bit in order to take the lesson and move forward. So this upward moving energy connected to expression, connected to speech, to growth, things that I think draw in and up posture wise, something like a handstand, something like a shoulder stand, Stardvangasana, that lifts up. You want this squeezing in, connecting to center, and then reaching up, extending up. You could think about that connected to those sort of postures. Next up, we have Vyana, Vayu, and that is outward moving, like really connected to circulation. So I would say vinyasa flows really give that full body prana feeling, like that system wide movement, system wide, circulation going on. And so that's not like a posture, I guess, but maybe think of a sun salutation like that. Okay, to reflect, where do you feel prana most alive now? Where do you feel this like energy, this gusto most alive? And where could you invite some more? Maybe, where are you feeling a little stagnant and cluttered per se? And where can you invite more of those wins and that movement in so that you feel your vitality increase? Let this month be about noticing, breathing, livering, and renewing your vital life force. I really hope that you can contemplate this, and I will for sure be teaching on this through the month of April. And it's really cool because we just started this theme of the month last month. And I know that several teachers also decided to like jump on board and participate, which, I wasn't requiring or anything like that. It was just a friendly suggestion. And so it makes me happy that people were really into that because I do think that all of us reflecting on this together makes it so powerful. It's like that communal or that collective intention and then we're sharing and holding that especially over a month is powerful and different teachers have different ways and styles and gifts and talents, so hopefully you're being able to hear and learn and reflect on all of this from all these different avenues and that they're all supporting each other or if one doesn't really make sense that another one will. So, okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for sharing this intention if it's something that you're going to take on. And I look forward to practicing with you in the studio, or if you don't practice in the studio, leave a comment. You can still be very engaged with the community through that way. Leave a message in the comment section about how you're understanding or taking on this theme of the month. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.